Why was it so easy when he fought Frank Martin?
Frank Martin was inexperienced and nervous. You know, it is what it is. It's going to be a different fight when I'm in there. He's going to be a different fighter.
Frank Martin was the latest victim to fall to Tank Davis, suffering a devastating knockout on June 15th at the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas. Martin, just like Lamont Roach, had hoped to be the first to hand Davis a career defeat and take home the WBA lightweight title. Instead, Davis showed once again why he's one of boxing's most dangerous fighters, finishing Martin in the 8th round with a well-timed punishing shot. Following the fight, Martin has opened up in a recent interview revealing just what trouble Lamont Roach might be, and he's got power. Martin said he does a great job at landing the big shot. He knows how to land that shot and hit guys on the button to get them out of there. He emphasizes Davis's accuracy as a key difference maker, saying he's an accurate puncher and knows how to land that shot. These words may seem simple, but coming from someone who experienced Tank's power firsthand, they're heavy with. Meaning Martin is no rookie. He's a well-schooled fighter with solid fundamentals. Yet even he couldn't handle what Tank brought to the table.
I say 9th round.
What?
I say 9th round.
You said 9th?
Yeah.
What's your response to that, Lamont?
Look, he got scared. Look. He looked at night.
I'm telling him, you saying you going down in a 9th?
Vocal about his determination, claiming he's ready to shock the world. My mindset is to beat him. He told Boxing Scene Roach seems to be thriving on the underdog role, feeling counted out by fans, but no amount of bravado can change the facts. Davis is coming off a knockout when over a strong contender Martin and has an unbeaten record 30-0. With 28 knockouts, Roach, on the other hand, is moving up in weight and facing a fighter who is at the peak of his powers. Martin's experience should serve as a warning on its own. The fight against Davis wasn't one-sided. Martin had his moments in the first 7 rounds, but when Tank found his rhythm, the fight quickly turned in his favor. It wasn't just raw power, it was precision and timing. Yeah, man. I mean, it's going to go Tank going to be losing the first 3 rounds. Then he's going to download the data. Then he's going to knock this dude out in round 7 or 8. Then he's going to do the backflip. Then Jim Gray's on getting the ring, or Caleb Plant's hot wife, and say, who do you want next? And Tank's going to say, I want all those guys, and they're going to go to the press conference. And Elliot Setback's going to say, who do you want next? He say, I want all the guys. Martin's comments about Davis knowing how to hit guys on the button highlight this perfectly. Davis doesn't just throw bombs hoping for a lucky connection. He dissects his opponents, waiting for the perfect moment to land a decisive blow. For Roach, the psychological battle may be just as important as the physical one. Davis has a reputation for breaking his opponents before breaking their bodies. Even if a fighter survives his early power shots, the mental strain of knowing that one mistake could end the night is enough to wear anyone down. Roach and Davis have history having fought in the amateurs, but that familiarity may not work in Roach's favor. Tank has evolved into a more complete fighter, and his confidence only seems to grow with each victory.
Yeah. Thank all day, baby. Thank all day. These words.
Roach's recent success shouldn't be overlooked. He captured his junior lightweight title in November 2023 by defeating Hector Luis Garcia and successfully defended it against Fergal MCC. But those fights are a world apart from what he's walking into on March 1st. Davis isn't just a champion. He's a 3-division title holder with a reputation as one of the most feared punchers in boxing. The jump from 130 pounds to 135 pounds is significant, but it's not just about size, it's about dealing with the speed, power, and experience of an elite-level opponent. And I promise you, you better leave them home, you better leave the females home. On my mother, you better leave a female home. And the kids on my mother, the build-up to this fight has been filled with tension. Roach's camp, led by his father and trainer Lamont Roach Sr., knows they're facing an uphill battle. While they've expressed respect for Davis, there's an undeniable sense that they feel overlooked. Roach Jr. has said this camp is different because I feel like they're counting me out, but being counted out isn't the same as being underestimated. Davis doesn't take anyone lightly, and Roach will need to bring more than just determination to the ring. Davis's win over Martin wasn't just another notch on his belt. It was a statement. It marked his 30th professional victory and solidified his reputation as one of boxing's pound-for-pound best.
I think he actually took this fight for the naysayers and all the people talking shit about the fight. I think he actually took the fight because he know that I'm a dog. and he want to prove his skills against a dog. So I'm gonna show y'all what happens when two dogs get in the ring together.
His knockout power is no secret, but what's becoming increasingly clear is his ability to adapt and execute a game plan. Martin's acknowledgement of Davis's accuracy underscores just how dangerous Tank is. He doesn't just throw punches, he lands them with intent and precision. However, Lamont Roach Jr. is making it clear that he's not stepping into the ring with Tank Davis just to be another name on Davis's growing list of knockouts. Roach isn't shy about addressing the comparisons to Frank Martin Roach. Believes he's a completely different challenge for Davis, and he's vocal about it respectfully. I'm not Frank Martin. Frank Martin started boxing when he was, 15, Roach said in an interview with Najee Grampus on Cigar Talk Premier Boxing Champions. Actually, Liz Martin started at 17. I'm not looking at Lamont the way that everybody else look at Lamont, like, I know Lamont is a really good fighter. I'm not this ain't. No, Frank Martin. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah, real good. Fight for Roach to distinction is critical. He's implying that Martin's later start in boxing left him at a disadvantage, especially against a fighter as dangerous and polished as Davis. Roach, who's been in the sport since childhood, considers his experience to be a key factor. Roach elaborated on Martin's lack of experience by saying Frank Martin don't got the experience that he needed, as everybody could see it's not like that I'm just talking, underscoring, or nothing like that. He didn't have the experience to be in there with someone as skilled or as experienced as Tank. It's a fair critique. While Martin came into the Davis fight with a spotless record, he didn't have a long history of facing elite competition. That gap in experience was.
You think that the boxing fans is kind of hypocritical when they beg for fighters to dare to be great, but if they see from your point of view, instead of Gervonta being frustrated with Gervonta Tank Davis, you stepping up, you daring to be great, and they won't be frustrated if they look at from your point of view.
Roach didn't stop there. He went on to assert that he's on the same level as Davis in nearly every aspect. I got the same skill level. As Tank, I got the same experience. As Tank, I got the reflexes. I have the ability. I damn sure got the IQ. That's a bold claim, especially considering Davis's resume. Tank's 30-0 record with 28 knockouts speaks for itself. But Roach seems unfazed. He's not just talking about surviving Davis's power. He's talking about matching him in every category. Can you see who it is? Hey, who is the dude? Who is the dude? And that right, there's perhaps the most important part of Roach's confidence comes from his durability. I think I got hit on my underscore. A couple times ain't nobody ever dropped me. Roach said it's true that he's known for having a solid chin, even in his lone career loss to Jamal Herring in 2019. Roach insists he wasn't truly knocked down. A counter right hook from Herring dropped Roach, but the referee ruled it a slip after seeing Roach's foot come up. The fact that Lamont Roach is as familiar with Tank Davis as he is. It goes beyond them fighting in the amateurs. They spend time in camp together. He's been to the ref, saw that my foot came up, and I tried. That's why I didn't call it a knockdown. Roach explained it's this kind of toughness that Roach believes will set him apart from Davis's past opponents. He knows that many of Davis's opponents didn't just lose physically, they were beaten mentally before the final bell rang, but Roach is determined not to let that happen to him. His mindset is clear. If he's going to lose, it won't be because he crumbled under pressure or got caught off guard. Roach also acknowledged Davis's power, something that no fighter can afford to overlook. Davis' knockout ratio is staggering, and only two opponents, German Moores and Isaac Pitbull Cruz, have ever made it to the final bell with.
Rematch clause, people, so get ready for 2 fights. But, yes, and after I beat him the second time, I probably would ask the WBA to let me go up to 140. And fight Ryo.
T's worth noting that Davis was dealing with a hand injury during the Cruz fight, which likely contributed to his inability to score a knockout. That fight was a test of Tank's ability to adapt when things don't go his way, and he passed it for Roach. That adaptability is one of Davis's most dangerous traits. But despite all of Davis's strengths, Roach still sees areas he can exploit. The ones that I do know I'll try to exploit, Roach said. However, he's not under any illusions about the challenge. Ahead, it's not going to be easy. We all know that he's a hell of a fighter. That kind of respect is refreshing in a sport often dominated by trash talk. Roach isn't claiming to have some secret formula to defeat Davis. He's just confident in his own abilities and prepared to put them to the test. Clip 7. Lamont Roach Jr. has never been the type to sit back and let his fist do all the talking, whether it's in the ring or stirring the pot on social media. Roach isn't afraid to make noise, especially with Tank Davis in his sights. Their upcoming showdown on March 1st is more than just a fight for a title. It's a fight for pride and redemption. Their rivalry dates all the way back to their amateur days in 2011 when Davis got the better of Roach. Twice those losses have clearly stuck with Roach, and this fight is his long-awaited chance to settle the score. Over the years, both fighters have carved out impressive professional careers. But Davis has undoubtedly risen to superstar status. Now Roach is determined to rewrite history by doing what no one else has done, beating Tank. And take his belt, no, I think Lamont Roach is a terrific fighter. He might be a little over his head with a Gervonta Davis. Gervonta Davis is, to say the least. He's a beast, he really is. He's a tremendous fighter. He's the rivalry between the two heated up in a very public way on Valentine's Day. Roach, ever the provocator, kicked things off with a bold post on Twitter. His poem, "Roses Are Red Violets, Our Blue March First Sounds Like," and the new wasn't just playful banner. It was a direct challenge. It let the world know he was coming for Davis's WBA lightweight title. But if Roach thought Davis would let that slide, he was mistaken. Davis quickly clapped back with a poem of his own, "Roses Are Red Violets. Our Blue March First Sounds Like, Don't Worry Baby, You'll Be Home Soon from the hospital." It was classic Tank Sharp ruthless, and loaded with intimidation. The exchange went viral, with fans eagerly dissecting every word and taking sides in a rivalry. With all this tension in the air, the Barclays Center in Brooklyn is shaping up to be the perfect battleground for their long-awaited clash. Fans are full of anticipation for what promises to be a high-stakes, no-holds-barred showdown. For Roach, this fight is a chance to silence the doubters and prove he belongs at the top of the lightweight division. For Davis, it's about maintaining his dominance and putting another exclamation mark on his undefeated record. However, despite the noise Roach is making, not everyone is convinced he can pull off the upset, turn Crawford, one of boxing's most respected voices, and a current welterweight champion, weighed in with a dose of skepticism. He know what he up against when he fights Shakur or Keen. You know what he want to fight these guys that everybody in the world know that ain't going to give them no fight. They're not mentally there. You know what I mean? They might have a little skills here and there, but mentally wise, they're not going to be in an interview with Fight Hype. Crawford broke down his thoughts on Davis's opponents and questioned whether Roach has the mental toughness to endure a full fight with Tank. They might have a little skills here and there, but mentally, they're not going to be able to keep it up the whole fight. Crawford said, coming from a fighter as experienced and battle-tested as Crawford, those words carry weight. Davis has a reputation for wearing his opponents down both physically and mentally as the rounds go. Music on if Roach doesn't have the resilience to stay sharp under that kind of pressure. Crawford prediction could prove accurate. Crawford didn't stop there either. He mentioned Shakur Stevenson and Kezin Davis as two fighters he believes could pose a bigger threat to Tank. By highlighting those names, Crawford indirectly downplayed Roach's chances and suggested that Roach might not have a complete package necessary to hand Davis's first loss. It's a point of critique, but one that's not entirely surprising given Davis's track record of dominating even highly skilled challengers. Clip 8. Still, Roach isn't the type to be rattled by outside opinions. If anything, he thrives on the doubters and the naysayers. The more people question him, the more motivated he seems to become. Roach's mentality heading into this fight is simple. He doesn't just want to win, he wants to shock the world. While Davis is no stranger to trash talk, this particular rivalry seems to have taken on a more personal edge. Perhaps it's the shared history from their amateur days, or maybe it's Roach's relentless confidence, but there's an intensity here that goes beyond the usual pre-fight banner. David, known for his icy composure and devastating power, will be looking to make a statement with this fight. And if Roach isn't ready for Tank's blend of speed, power, and ring IQ, things could go downhill quickly. I don't.
Defeated and what y'all? Come on, man. Tell me what belt. You know boxing. You forgot Devin Haney is undisputed. Devin Haney got all the belts. He the champ. Nobody else the champ. I'm gonna come up here where the big boys at. All right, I'll welcome him.
Knockout power is no secret, but what's becoming increasingly clear is his ability to adapt and execute a game plan. Martin's acknowledgement of Davis's accuracy underscores just how dangerous Tank is. He doesn't just throw punches, he lands them with intent and precision. However, Lamont Roach Jr. is making it clear that he's not stepping into the ring with Tank Davis just to be another name on Davis's growing list of knockouts. Roach isn't shy about addressing the comparisons to Frank Martin. Roach believes he's a completely different challenge for Davis, and he's vocal about it respectfully. I'm not Frank Martin. Frank Martin started boxing when he was, 15, Roach said in an interview with Najee Grampus on Cigar Talk. Premier boxing champions actually list Martin start at 17. I'm not looking at Lamont the way that everybody else look at Lamont, like, I know Lamont is a really good fighter. I'm not this ain't. No, Frank Martin. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah, real good fight for Roach to distinction is critical. He's implying that Martin's later start in boxing left him at a disadvantage, especially against a fighter as dangerous and polished as Davis. Roach, who's been in the sport since childhood, considers his experience to be a key factor. Roach elaborated on Martin's lack of experience by saying Frank Martin don't got the experience that he needed, as everybody could see it's not like that I'm just talking, underscoring, or nothing like that. He didn't have the experience to be in there with someone as skilled or as experienced as Tank. It's a fair critique. While Martin came into the Davis fight with a spotless record, he didn't have a long history of facing elite competition. That gap in experience was.
What?
Who said that? You said
My
what?
man over
You
there
said
said
what?
it's back.
Yeah, that's why I've been waiting for the niggas to talk. How much you want back? How much you want it back? Because I came up here alone. How much y'all want back? How much?